We've arrived in ancient Greece, so we are telling the story of Persephone and Hades, Lord of the Underworld. There's an awful lot goes on here. Persephone, the daughter of Demeter. Demeter, goddess of harvest, goddess of plenty, goddess who makes the crops grow. Her father was Zeus. Zeus is in some respects a bit like Odin. He is the sort of father of gods and a force to be reckoned with. Hades, god of the underworld, becomes Pluto to the Romans. Fell in love with Persephone. Of course she's beautiful. Of course she represents springtime. And of course she represents the maiden aspect of the goddess. And Hades wanted to draw Persephone down into the underworld and wanted her to be his wife. So he asked Zeus for her hand in marriage, and Zeus agreed, knowing that Demeter, her mother, would never agree to such a union. So Hades decided that the only way he would draw Persephone away from Demeter, away from her mother, was simply to abduct her. So one beautiful day, Persephone was in a field of flowers. And sometimes they are referred to as narcissus. And of course, not narcissus. Little daffodils are very early spring flowers. Of course, they are a kind of totem for Persephone as maiden, as goddess of springtime. A crack appeared in the earth, and out of the crack rode dark Hades in his black chariot, pulled by 4 black horses. And he simply drew Persephone down to the underworld without her consent. And the crack in the earth closed. And this was seen by Artemis. Artemis, who became Diana to the Romans, was a goddess who insisted that she would never marry. She chose a life of virginity, a life of female company, rejecting all that men had to offer. Demeter was inconsolable. Demeter wept. Crops ceased to grow. The earth descended into winter. People became hungry. Gods asked why humans were not making sacrifice to them. All was misery. Demeter sought a way of going down into the underworld and going to confront Hades and to rescue her daughter. And of course eventually she did. And in some versions of the story it is Artemis, the strong warrior goddess, who confronts Hades, Persephone's abductor. Of course, if we look at the story of Artemis, she does kill a man who attempts to rape her. So it's little wonder that she would be the goddess who would go and rescue a maiden from the clutches of an abductor. In her time in the underworld, Persephone had refused to eat, and so by now she was growing hungry. And Hades offered her 12 pomegranate seeds, of which she ate 6. And Hades argued that because she had eaten in the underworld, she must stay there as his consort. But the argument ran that Persephone had only eaten half of what Hades had offered her. So it was agreed that she would spend half the year underground with her husband, but half the year above the ground with her mother, in the sunlight and the joy. And this is why we have winter. We have a time when Persephone descends into the underworld and all becomes dormant. And then we have spring and the summer, the time when Demeter makes the crops and the flowers and everything grow and everything is fertile. And it's actually a very dark story, much darker, I think, than a lot of people that portray it as now, because there is the whole thing about an arranged marriage that a young girl does not consent to, being rescued by the strong mother figure, but also by the strong warrior goddess figure in the form of Artemis. Very powerful story, an awful lot going on there. It's a theme which does recur time and again, actually, in Greek legend, is somebody going down to the underworld to rescue a loved one, as of course in the story of Orpheus and Eurydice, which I'm planning to tell sometime. So yeah, please keep watching, please like my videos, and I hope to see you again soon.